I said to Diana, changing time has serious consequences. I think I know why you're asking me this. I need to tell you something right now, Diana. Some time ago I tried to stop Krypton from being destroyed, and no matter what I did I couldn't save them. I tried everything and it nearly drove me to madness. I felt helpless and alone. I even cried out for help, and then I realized there's just certain things that can't be changed. Steve Trevor can't be saved, Diana. To save him is to kill millions of innocent people. Stopping his death would have serious consequences because he sacrificed his life to save millions of innocent people. So no, I will not help you change the past, and I won't show you how to do it either. And she said, I understand. I tried to do it once before too, in a way, through a wish. And I said, some wishes can't be done. Maybe you're just not meant to be with him. Maybe you're meant to be with someone else. Just saying. And then I said I could put it to rest right now if I wanted to, but I won't say anything else for now. I'm sure you already know the answer, Diana. So even if you have all the powers in the world, it's just not possible. I tried to change fate and destiny more than once and it never worked out for me, but I am sorry. For what it's worth, I know Steve Trevor was a good man. I saw his life unfold and I saw his path where it would lead. No matter what you do, if you try to change what happened to him, even if you bring him back, Diana, he will always die and you will never be able to grow old with him. I saw everything that would happen, every scenario where he's alive again only to die young in your arms, bleeding and you crying and heartbroken because he died too soon. I couldn't watch it anymore. I'm just telling you what will happen to prepare you for the worst. If you tried it and actually succeeded, it will always fail. I can't tell you why this is, but what I do know is that I have tried to change destiny and fate before, and not even I could change it with all my powers. And she said, so I really can't bring him back? And I said, yes you can, but he won't live long, Diana. He will die quickly. It's sad, I know, but it's the truth. I'm sorry, Diana. And she said, what good is our powers then if we can't save everyone? And I said, it's not hopeless, you hear me? I know there's probably a way, I just haven't figured it out yet. I'm powerful and I am smart. Maybe one day I will, but we are talking about something that's really impossible even for a god, and a human being wouldn't even bother with this because they know they can't change it. But even I know some things like this have very serious consequences. And then she cried and said, no, why can't I save him? And I walked up to her and I hugged her tightly and I said, I'm sorry, I understand. I have tried to save people I loved before too. And I said I tried to save a woman I loved once before, but I couldn't save her. And Diana asked what was her name, and I said her name was Nocturnal, the Lady of the Night. She was so beautiful and I loved her with everything I had, and I thought I would be with her forever. And then destiny got in the way. She had to sacrifice herself to save the daylight, not just for me but for everyone. She did it to separate good from evil, but I could never see her again, and I tried to change it, but no matter how hard I tried I couldn't save her. And it was then that I realized whoever controls destiny, I will seek them out and I will force them to give me what I want. But I never found them, Diana. I searched for centuries across every timeline and it all nearly drove me mad. And she said, so you really do understand? And I said, yes, more than you know. I used to tell that story to every Kryptonian for many years, and for eons the Kryptonians passed down that story to their children. Nocturnal was my wife, Diana, and I lost her to destiny and I can't get her back. That's one reason why I don't like being called Rao anymore, because I just feel like a failure because I can't change one little thing, destiny. And I looked very angry and it has always irritated me to no end. I think one day I will end up nearly killing myself trying to change destiny. In fact, that's pretty much what it takes, a great sacrifice to change destiny, but the sacrifice has to perfect. And I said, what's more perfect than sacrificing the life of a god? And I said, I don't think I can do it anymore anyway. My body has become too invincible by now because I have died too many times already. And she said, so there's a way? And I said, yes, Diana, but the cost is too high. And then she looked very disappointed. There are consequences to a god dying, and even killing a god has serious consequences. It could destroy everything else. Without certain gods to hold everything together, it would all fall apart. And I said, you're very young, Diana, you have too much to learn. And she looked very upset and disappointed, almost depressed, and she said, I don't want to talk about this anymore. And I said, Diana, I'm sorry, and I walked up and hugged her.